Hey, Danny Matta here with PT Biz, and we are in Decatur, Georgia, checking out Athletes Potential. Athletes Potential is a practice my wife and I started in 2014. We sold it 2 years ago to Jacob Swart, and we are excited to show you what he's been up to and the changes that he's made and how much better he's made it since we transitioned ownership over to him. So we're gonna go in, check out the space, show you what we're working with, and we'll check you out in there. What's going on? We're here in Athletes Potential with Jacob Swart and Claire, the office manager. She wanted to stay out of it, but she can't.
Right.
She's too important.
Right.
So we're checking out the space today and highlighting really, what Jake's been doing since we sold the practice to him a couple years ago, and really like some of the cool changes that he's made, as well as some of the unique things within this space that really help make an efficient footprint. Be able to really see a lot of people and have a few different services. So what is it about this area that you think is a great spot for a practice like this?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff with Decatur, right? Like, I think very family oriented. It's kind of like on an island almost, right? Like, it's
hard to get to for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to leave. There's a great school district, great amenities, very active population here as well. So like, it kind of really fits the bill for like people that we like to work with.
Yeah. So you've done some changes to this since we sold those. So what are the things that you've changed about it in terms of, because it's way more efficient layout at this point?
Sure. So I think like one of the big things that we did at first was, it's kind of painted on the wall, right? Movement is medicine. So
yeah, and this was your wife that did it too.
She's like kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
We turned a lot of our stuff is like, we keep things simple. It's in our core value too, right? So like, do more with less. So like, we don't want people to come in and see a bunch of equipment that they'll never have access to outside of coming in and working with us, right? We take a very much like a consulting approach. Like, oh, you do CrossFit, we can help you out. We can find the problem for your CrossFit problem and then create the solution, right? Using the equipment that you have access to. I think we do a really good job in building relationships one-on-one with our patients that we get to work with, right?
Yeah.
But man, when you get to see somebody on a consistent basis and you get to celebrate like real performance goals versus being able to get back to performance, right? Like,
right.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
When we built the space out, this is basically like a wallpaper that they print, and they put this up as a picture, right? And I remember we worked with this designer, and she told us, she's like, oh, this will give some like color, it's a great idea, but this was like thousands of dollars. And I said, this is silly, why am I gonna put a picture up on it? And when it was done, we're like, damn it, so I'm glad we did that. Like just doing something to sort of like separate. And we have so many pictures of people in front of this on like social media and videos and stuff we've done. So
yeah, if you look at our website, this is the background for a long time.
That's right. Yeah, like a stock photo. Yeah. So I think like little things like that are important to think about if you're gonna build a space out where you can have something that sort of like is a bit unique or makes the space look a little different, adds a little bit of color to it. I think that helps a lot. Like whether it's a mural kind of like this or something like this. This is really interesting with the wallpaper images you can do that with. This is key, by the way. All right.
This is the pride and joy, for sure. Yeah.
If you want more productivity from your staff, you want patients that are going to be happy to come in and get a little perked up with a latte. Send your front desk to learn, professional barista skills. Or do it yourself and get yourself one of these suckers. This is like a great investment. With this, so then there's 3 offices, right? So what's the total volume, like schedule-wise, that can possibly be seen in a space like this with 3 offices?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I think like what we try to do, and that's one of the reasons why we built out the third office.
Yeah,
right?
We'll show that in a second. Yeah.
Yeah. So like one of the things that we want to focus on when we're trying to be like, I think I compare out of network physical therapy or cash-based physical therapy, like what we do, it's kind of like being in the tech industry, right? And then like in network PT is kind of like being like corporate America a little bit, right? Like a little bit more stagnant, right? A little bit tougher, just some general rules that you just got to follow in that world, right? And so like one of the trends we try to buck is like, we don't want people to have to work like extremely strange hours here, right? Yeah. Like, so like that's one of the reasons why we build that office. But when we have 3 offices in here, we try to see, we have each caseload at like 32 patients, right? Yeah. So like, we'll try to see about 80% of that is what we want to see our providers at, right? Yeah. So then you kind of do the math on like what that would look like. But we can spit about 3.5, 4 providers in here now. It was interesting about this one. So like, what's nice about the one that's downstairs is it's kind of like siloed off, right? Yeah. So like conversations get there's more room for them to get buffered out, right?
Yeah, it's more private for sure.
Yeah, and so like, so what we did when we built out this space, so this used to be like, we used to have a squat rack right there, like a little mini gym setup almost, so you can kind of think of it.
Oh yeah.
Right, so, but what we did, because we wanted to grow, right? So like, in 3 offices, what we really wanted. So there's some common things that you're gonna see, like every time we build an office, there's something that we wanna focus on, right? So we wanna focus on we want to have a nice big whiteboard wherever we're at, right?
Yeah.
Communication is a huge piece of what we do. Education is huge. We're always going to have a stand-up desk in our office, like practice what you preach a little bit there, right? So it'd be really weird. Costco again, man. Yeah.
Saw it the other day.
Dude, it's great because you got like it's like $350 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And like you get like a little charger for your phone. You get like a little drawer. Yeah.
Oh, I like the drawer.
And doubles as a whiteboard.
Does it really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
You believe
Oh
that?
yeah.
Tell me how that happened to these.
We like the massage tables, or we like the ones that are a little bit more mobile versus the high low, because one, like we can make ourselves higher or lower if we need to, right? Like we have typically we have all dudes in our practice right now, right? From a clinician standpoint, so that's helpful. Like we're not,
that is
like we got a little bit more body weight behind us, right? So like, but man, we love being able to like move these out of the way, right? Like that's huge, because like you can see our space, like we try to maximize the square footage as much as we can. So like we're not gonna have these elaborate treatment rooms, right? And so like, because we want to be as much as we can like out in the gym space using net, right? Like this should be more like cozy, comfortable, trying to like have conversations and doing your assessments with. So like if we need to get somebody down on the ground, we'll just move it out of the way, right?
Yeah. We got in here. Oh yeah. This is actually like, this was the big office. So we got people up here.
Yeah.
Honestly, like where we could do a lot of movement stuff, and we wouldn't really go downstairs at all.
Right.
You know, so I think like it depends. Like you gotta kind of make it work wherever you have.
You know, it's like, all right, we have our PT treatment room here. We've got our mini gym set up, or continue to be like consulting based, and we got a recovery center downstairs, right? And we just kind of quickly grew past that, right? And so like, and put a different point of emphasis on what we really wanted to be, right? Like, can't have movement as medicine and paint on the wall, and then like 2/3 of your office is dedicated to passive modalities, right? Like, not moving, right? Like, it looks a little strange, but but I think this is a great example of like what different size of treatment rooms can look like, and like to the point of it, right? Because like, I mean, we could very easily, if we really wanted to, we could very easily put a squat rack in here, right? And like, this could be where you do 90% of your work, and then maybe go downstairs every now and then if you need to, right? But I think, you know, this creates a room that feels a little bit more spacious, maybe even potentially like a little bit more professional for some people, depending on what they're looking for. Don't necessarily want to be cramped into a tiny room or whatever, right? But I think like it's all about what you want to do with the space and how you want to try to maximize it the most. But the same values stay the same, right? Like you still see the whiteboard, you still see the standing desk, you still see the table that moves, right? Like all the all the things that like we really value is going to be in each office. And like, I think at the end of the day, the space doesn't really matter too much. You just got to have a vision for what you want to do in your practice.
What's the home run in 5 years? What does it look like for you?
Oh man, I think that's a great question. So some of the first things that jump out of the table is like, we definitely want to continue to be like a leading thought leader in the Atlanta area as far as it comes to pain reduction and performance enhancement, right? So multiple locations, at least 2 more locations, what we're looking for, but then also we're like really building out our small group training that we do, and even our online programs that we have as well that we haven't had a chance to touch base on. But I think like creating a comprehensive flow of come in because you're injured, right? And if you're appropriate, like we have the relationships to make sure that once you're out of pain, then like you know where to go, whether that's with us or somebody else, and just being a trusted leader in the community for that.
Yeah, well, that's it. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the clinic tours. We'll catch you in the next one.